Hi guys, it's Monday. Welcome back to Waxing On Jazz Edition. And today we're going to look at a group that was one of the super groups, early 70s, of a proponent of jazz fusion. It was a label they didn't really enjoy, but it really described what was happening at that time. Recently, we looked at a number of albums by Miles Davis from 69 through to 75 when he was changing the face of music. And on those albums, he had a number of players that went on to solo careers on their own. Two of them being who are in today's group. And today we're looking at the group Weather Report. Joseph Zolno and Wayne Shorter were the two main members. They stayed with the group the whole time. You can see we also have over Joe's shoulder Jaco Pastorius, legendary bass player. This group really started out doing a little avant-garde and then got more commercial as it went on. Now, Wayne Shorter had been with Miles Davis through the 60s. They called it the second great quartet that he had, and he actually played with them into the 70s, did some of those early albums, as did Joe Zolno. Wayne Shorter had also come up through the bands of Art Blakey, who we profiled quite a few weeks ago now. So he had some credentials behind him. Same with Joe Zolno. He had been piano player for Cannonball Adderley. Now, if you remember, Cannonball Adderley had also played with Miles on the Kind of Blue album. So, I mean, there's a real connection here, and everything seems to come back to Miles Davis. So we covered that the last week. And while he was with Cannonball Adderley, he had penned a song that turned out to be one of Adderley's big hits, kind of a gospel-tinged song called Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. And I mean, this thing is kind of timeless. I mean, even with my big band, I have a copy of the chart, although we haven't played it in a long time. It might be worth dragging that back out again and seeing if we can revitalize it the next time we get together. You can also check Dana Owens' album. And you may not know who Dana Owens is. We're going to look at her in a couple of weeks, and you may be surprised there. But if you listen to her album, she's recorded the song with the vocals. And again, it's quite a nice song, what he was doing at the time. Now, early Weather Report, they were doing more, like say, free or avant-garde jazz. He wasn't really penning songs like this. Although later in Weather Report's history, they were turning out hits, and I think of another big hit for them was Birdland, which was covered by a number of other bands as well. And again, I also have that one in my book with the big band. So we do a few of his tunes. Now, Weather Report, together for 16 years, they turned out, I think it was 14 albums, 14 studio albums, and then there would be live dates as well. Just to give you some idea of what's on this, this is actually called, let me find out what I call it here, Weather Report 10. And it's under the This Is Jazz series that was put out, and it's under Liberty, I believe, albums. Yeah, Liberty albums, a CD I picked up. And again, it's a compilation throughout their career. And on this one we have Birdland, obviously one of their big hits. Remark You Made. Black Market, which is the title song from one of their albums. Man in the Green Shirt. Young and Fine. The Moors. Now, we do have a few players changing here. I mean, Jaco was on for quite a few of the tunes. Obviously, Zolno and Shorter were there for everything, but the rest of the rhythm section often changed. So there was depending on the song, it depends on who you're hearing. Mysterious Traveler, Teen Town, and Orange Lady. Now, when I look at this, a lot of originals here. We got Zolno, Zolno, Zolno. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, yes, there, the Moors. We got Wayne Shorter in there. Wayne Shorter for Mysterious Traveler. And Teen Town, Jaco wrote that one. So a lot of it coming from Joe. Shorter contributed as well. And tunes there as well by Jaco Pastorius. Now, you may remember, we may have mentioned Jaco back during the Joni Mitchell session as well. He also played on the Mingus album. So he and Wayne Shorter had both played with Joni Mitchell. And Wayne Shorter did one really fabulous saxophone solo for a Steely Dan tune. So these guys have mixed it up quite a bit. But Weather Report certainly was one of the big names. When they think of fusion bands, we had Weather Report, you had Chick Corea and his band, Herbie Hancock and Headhunters. And again, all these people worked their way through Miles's band. But they were the leaders of fusion in the early 70s. And this one's a nice cross-section of what they do. It's not as far out there as what we talked about with Miles. It's certainly more accessible music. especially for people that aren't diehard jazz fans, it was easy to get into and easy to accept. 9 tunes on this one. There's a lot online. You might find some greatest hits. I think this one might even be online, the This Is Jazz series. And, of course, all their individual albums are there to check out. These guys were playing piano before Joe really got into using the ARP and synthesizer. So you hear a lot of those sounds in the music here. And that was kind of really far ahead of its time for early 70s. But 1970s to 86, and it's the music of Weather Report. So take a while, check them out. Lots of stuff online. Hard copies are also available. But just another side of what was happening in those crazy 70s when jazz was evolving. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on Wednesday. Till then, take care. Have a good week.